Aaliyah Dana Haughton's rise to stardom began at the young age of 10. Tragically, at the peak of her career, Aaliyah's life was cut short. When she was 22, she died in a plane crash in the Bahamas. The world was shocked. How could someone so young be taken so quickly? What had happened? While authorities investigated, the news of Aaliyah's death rippled across the globe, plunging fans, fellow artists, and the music community into deep mourning. Timbaland, who had worked closely with Aaliyah, expressed his loss saying, "She was like blood, and I lost blood." P. Diddy remembered her as someone who could light up a room with her presence. DMX, her co-star in Romeo Must Die, praised her as talented, classy, warm, beautiful, compassionate, and humble. They, along with Missy Elliott, Lil' Kim, and Jay-Z, were among the mourners at her funeral. Aaliyah's funeral took place on August 31st, 2001, at the Frank E. Campbell Funeral Chapel in New York City. It was a private ceremony attended by close friends, family members, and industry peers. While the funeral was private and closed to the public, fans stood outside in mourning. The streets where fans gathered transformed into seas of flowers and candles, and Aaliyah was remembered as an artist taken far too soon. Raised in the bustling city of Detroit, Aaliyah Dana Haughton was said to have found her voice early. By the age of 10, she had already graced the television screens of America on Star Search, capturing hearts with her soulful voice and charisma. Her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, sold 3 million copies, and her second album, One in a Million, sold more than 8 million copies worldwide. Transitioning into acting, Aaliyah starred in the film Romeo Must Die in 2000 and had just completed filming for Queen of the Damned, which was released after her death. She was not only known for her musical talent, but also her unique style, which blended streetwear and high fashion. And at the Detroit School of the Arts, which she had attended, the school's recital hall was named the Aaliyah Memorial Recital Hall. But as the years have passed, disturbing facts have come out about Aaliyah's relationship with some of her associates and the abuse she endured in the industry. The relationship between Aaliyah and R. Kelly in particular has been a subject of significant controversy. It's been reported that R. Kelly had underage sexual contact with Aaliyah, with their illegal marriage occurring in 1994 when Aaliyah was just 15 and R. Kelly was 27. The marriage was annulled shortly after. Sources such as the book Solace, The Case Against R. Kelly by Jim DeRogatis, and the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly suggest that Kelly began having sexual contact with Aaliyah during her early recording sessions when she was only 14. Additionally, testimonies from Kelly's former backup singer and personal assistant support claims of abuse and manipulation, including allegations that Kelly married Aaliyah because she might have been pregnant, with the marriage serving as a legal cover for her to get an abortion. Aaliyah, determined to carve her own path, distanced herself from Kelly after the annulment. She redefined her image and sound, collaborating with Missy Elliott and Timbaland. But in 2011, Timbaland admitted their wholesome professional relationship wasn't quite so wholesome. He claims that when he met 16-year-old Aaliyah, he fell in love with her. At 23, Timbaland knew he was too old for her, and he didn't cross the line R. Kelly did, maintaining that he always acted like Aaliyah's big brother. But he was also quoted as saying, "When I first met my wife, I knew I was going to marry her because she looked like Aaliyah." Despite it all, Aaliyah continued to work hard, and her 1996 album One in a Million went double platinum. And Aaliyah's single If Your Girl Only Knew was in the Billboard Top 10. Her resilience in the face of adversity and exploitation was a testament to her strength and character. But even as Aaliyah's sound and image moved away from R. Kelly, he would continue to haunt her career. The idea of Aaliyah and R. Kelly as some sort of unconventional love story would continue through her death in 2001. In the meantime, artists and fans all over honored her talent and kindness, and some continue to do so to this day. In 2023, Missy Elliott took time to honor Aaliyah on what would have been the singer's 44th birthday. She wrote, "You'll forever be the blueprint of what it means to step outside the box musically and creating new style in fashion and a natural at acting and being great at them all. The world will always feel your impact and love you shared forever," alongside a photo of Aaliyah smiling. But some fans pointed out, according to rumors, Missy Elliott and Aaliyah, as well as a few other artists that Aaliyah was close to, had beef with each other shortly before Aaliyah passed. Genuine said in an interview that there was a huge falling out between him, Missy, and Timbaland with Aaliyah. According to him, when Aaliyah died, none of them were on speaking terms with her. But some over the years have wondered, was Aaliyah's death truly an accident? Aaliyah spent her last day alive in the Bahamas, working on the music video for her song Rock the Boat. The day was a bit hectic as the venue had been changed at the last minute to include scenes in the Bahamas. And under the guidance of director Hype Williams, Aaliyah and her team woke up early on August 25, 2001 to capture the perfect scenes. They spent the day filming, and as the day wore on, the decision was made to wrap the shoot a day early, since they'd gotten all of the shots they needed. Aaliyah and her entourage arrived at Marsh Harbor Airport where they boarded a Cessna 402, excited to return to the United States. The flight took off at 6:50 p.m., but it only got less than 100 feet in the air before nosediving back to the ground. The U.S. Department of Transportation opened a criminal investigation into the crash, seizing records from the plane's owner and his company. A search warrant accused the owner of lying to officials using false documents and withholding other documents, including the aircraft's maintenance logs. It was later found that the small twin engine had exceeded its maximum weight limit by several hundred pounds. The pilot of the doomed flight, who was not qualified to fly the plane, was also found to have traces of cocaine and alcohol in his body. Why the aircraft was cleared to take off in the first place remained a mystery for years after the devastating crash. But in her book, Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, Kathy Iandoli believes she's finally uncovered the truth. It was initially suggested that Aaliyah, a known nervous flyer, had insisted on boarding the plane back to Miami. But a Bahamian man who had been with the pop star just moments before her death has claimed that was not the case. After remaining silent for decades, he's alleged that the singer was given a sleeping pill and carried, unconscious, onto the suspect aircraft before her fatal 2001 crash in the Bahamas. Kingsley Russell, who was 13 then, had been working for his family's taxi and hospitality business. Russell's mother was Aaliyah's driver. The plane was late arriving at the airport by 2 hours, Russell said. And when Aaliyah saw the size of the plane, she then refused to board it. At the same time, members of her entourage were reportedly arguing with the pilot after he told them the plane would be too heavy for 8 passengers and all of their luggage. Her entourage was carrying heavy camera equipment with them. According to Russell, the airport staff and Aaliyah had the common sense that the plane was overweight. Aaliyah, complaining she had a headache, then climbed back into the taxi van and laid down on the back seat for a quick nap. Eventually, Russell says, a member of Aaliyah's team came to check on her. The team member then handed Aaliyah a pill, Russell claims, which he took before falling into a deep sleep. Aaliyah was allegedly still asleep when the pilot finally caved and allowed Aaliyah's team to board the flight back to Florida. They took her out of the van. She didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane, Russell recounts in the book. She went on the airplane asleep. Aaliyah's death was ultimately ruled accidental. Her body was found 20 feet from the wreckage. No one on the plane survived. Aaliyah is now buried in Ferncliff Cemetery in Greenburgh, New York. While she may have left us physically, her spirit and legacy continue to inspire new generations of artists and fans alike. Aaliyah left behind a family who cherished her deeply. Her parents, Diane and Michael Haughton, and her older brother, Rashad Haughton. And with that, we've come to an end. That's it for today. Comment down below about your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.